is Damien Darko, your purveyor of truth, and you are on The Squared Circle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is January 20th, 2015. You are now watching the award-winning Squared Circle, home of the PWA Squared Circle television title, as usual. That belt, once again, will be defended this coming March at PWA, the finals of the TV tournament. I'm Hollywood J. Williams. This is Mr. John Zimmerman and Jacob Zimmerman, the incomparable. Zimmerman, and Williams. Or Williams, Zimmerman, and Zimmerman.
ZZ Top.
Right.
Right.
Sounds like an overpriced law firm.
Right, ZZ Bottom.
But anyway, getting to the news and info, we have like a medium sized amount of news. Not a lot, but enough to get by here. First off, we'll start with the usual World Wrestling Entertainment, Monday Night Raw, and the Raw reunion. We saw many people. And we have, a lot of legends there, my friends. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, X-Pac.
He's not a legend.
Who?
X-Pac.
Oh, he's a
His
legend.
stunt double's more
In
of a
his own
legend than
mind,
he is.
right?
He's legendary to me.
Uh-huh.
Don't forget, I was in the NWO, buddy. Do your history.
Hey, I took over this show.
You didn't?
A while ago. Once,
or tried to anyway.
Once in a lifetime.
It'll never ever happen again.
We'll see.
That's for sure.
I'll call the
all
Altamari.
gentlemen.
But anyway, for the first time ever on Monday Night Raw, we saw the first appearance of Steve Borden, a.k.a. Sting, the Icon Sting. He appeared in the flesh on Raw. He helped John Cena beat Seth Rollins, The Big Show, and Kane in the main event. So therefore, the angle with Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan being fired is no longer the case, as they have, quote, won their jobs back, unquote. And in the final segment of the show, you saw Triple H yelling and screaming and barking, upset about Sting showing up yet again and interfering, and it looks like we'll probably have a showdown or a match down the road.
Our inside information says that Sting was not on the script, was not told to any of the people backstage that he was actually going to make an appearance. And it was a complete surprise to even the staff and crew.
Really?
That Sting was coming out for that. So that may have been, just for the talent involved.
A surprise.
To know, yeah.
Right, it was
so
probably...
it was 100% surprise.
May have been between maybe Stephanie, Triple H, Sting, maybe, obviously Vince.
Right.
Right.
So...
And that was it.
Interesting. It was... What was wrong with Michael Cole? He's getting worse as the weeks go on. He's like, oh, is that a picture of Sting on the screen? And it was obviously a live shot.
Right.
He was moving, Oh, is that just a picture of Sting, or is he actually here?
No.
That's always been the question.
Yeah.
Was Jerry Lawler too?
Cole is just terrible.
It's a hologram
Lawler
of
is
Sting.
terrible. And on the flip side, Justin Roberts and Taz are actually doing well over at
Josh Matthews, you mean?
Yes, thank you.
And Taz, they're actually
doing well, yes.
They're doing well over there. But, it was a hologram of Sting. It wasn't really Sting.
Yeah.
It was, or somebody pretending to be Sting. Somebody in a latex mask.
Right, the other.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that has to, we've had the fake Sting before.
WCW.
Going way back in the day.
It was the fake Sting.
But, it's just Cole was just horrible.
So he's not on the level of JR. He might think he is sometimes, but other than that, that's about it. So is this going to be promoting a match down the road for Triple H and Sting?
I'm guessing it's going to lead up to WrestleMania.
I'll go with that.
You'll go with that. It's pointing in that direction.
barring a surprise return from the Undertaker.
Right.
But
Because that's what they were talking about for years and years to come was Sting v Undertaker, and if Undertaker can't go anymore, Sting v Triple H is probably the second best thing.
I don't know. As long as we don't get Sting Hogan.
Don't think so.
You know what? Ask Hogan; he'll want to do it.
If Hogan will wrestle a broomstick at WrestleMania to let him.
Kurt Angle would too.
He doesn't really care at this point.
Yeah.
He just wants the clamoring to get back in the ring because he thinks he can go one more time.
Yeah.
One more match.
One more match.
And what did you call the NWO? I'll let you say it.
New World. All right, fine. Old.
New World Older. Yeah.
New World Older. New
I like
World
that.
Older. That was the segment involving the NWO, New World Older, New Age Outlaws, and the APA, which were Ron Simmons and JBL, of course. The Ascension found them a little too hard to handle now.
Yeah.
Look at it that way, but you can also look at it as an honor for the Ascension. Well,
To be in the ring with all those people at the same
Yeah.
time, it was.
and backstage with Hogan, Sting,
Mhm.
Scott Hall, all of them.
It was a Legends night.
Yeah, so you can look at it either way.
Right.
And then now they have a match with the New Age Outlaws, which they should win.
The Ascension should win.
Yes.
You would assume, but
You would. I don't know. Because I hear a lot of flack in the back about the Ascension and what they say about people like the Legion of Doom and Demolition.
Because they are just flat out better.
yeah, but I mean, to break kayfabe, they're not writing that speech. They're just going. They're the unfortunate guys that have to go out and say all those things. Right, like Roman Reigns. All his scripts are being written for him. So, here's two guys that were doing very well in NXT.
They still hold the record for the longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions of the world.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I think they can wrestle. Judging, their work on NXT, they're really good in the ring. I'm not so sold on the gimmick that they've been given on the main roster.
That's what it is the gimmick.
Right.
It's a rip-off.
Here's two guys that are really just getting screwed over by this gimmick,
Right.
and the script that they're given. But their talent in the ring. Go back and watch old episodes of NXT, and they can go.
If it was in tribute to the Road Warriors, maybe they brought Animal in as a manager. Something like that might work.
Yeah.
But to go crapping on the legacy.
Right, but you can't blame the two guys.
No, that's not that I'm blaming them.
Right.
It's just
It's unfortunate that
It's unfortunate.
they've come to the step. They get to the main roster and they're just given this real.
everybody does what they have to
crap
do to
gimmick.
work.
Yeah.
Right. You're told to do something,
Yeah.
you do it.
Yeah. Hey,
What do
you know what? If they paid me to be the Shockmaster, I'd go be the Shockmaster.
Right.
Hell, I'd be Uncle Elmer if they wanted me. Yeah.
The Ascension found the. I think maybe. Now, what do you blame them or not? I think my understanding was that the head honcho, of course, Vince McMahon, for whatever reason, didn't like it doesn't agree with the whole. I'm better than the Demolition. We're better than the Road Warriors.
Right.
So maybe this was, a way to maybe bury them a little bit.
It's
Possibly.
possible. Yeah. What do you think?
I can care what they say as long as they are tag team champions and they hold that record in NXT and on the main roster.
Well, if they had that record in NXT, nobody's going to take that away from them. Well, at least not for the time being.
Right.
Right.
Especially not those Lucha Dragons.
The Lucha Dragon. But my favorite team is the Vaudevillains in NXT.
I did want to see them get the titles. I will agree with you on that.
Right. There's something different about that. I want them to be called up. That would be interesting to see. I would rather see them in that role instead of the Ascension.
Okay.
to be honest. If the Ascension was working so good at NXT as the tag team champions for that long, why bring them up? Why just keep them down there?
Would you rather be NXT Tag Team Champions, hold the record for the rest of your life, or be a one-time, two-time WWE Tag Team Champion for 2 seconds?
Or bring them in as the NXT tag team champions?
Well, I think obviously the whole goal for everyone in NXT is to get to the main roster, to get on Monday Night Raw. Otherwise, what's the point? Why are you in NXT? What are you doing there?
To be the next Mario Mancini.
Hey now.
Well, he's the greatest WWE/F wrestler of all time.
I think so. He's the greatest guest
Yeah.
that used to be a WWE employee of all time. That's for sure.
Undertaker's very first match.
Checked out his studio, by the way, his wrestling school.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I mean, he's doing pretty well.
He's doing well
Him
for
and
himself.
another former WWF guy, Paul Roma, running the school down there in East Haven, right around the corner from my house.
Right.
And wish him all the luck in the world, and love to have him back on.
Right.
And like you said, you dropped in.
Dropped
and,
in real quickly after my commitment with Dan Hoff at ATV.
Yep.
We're starting. We do Good News Now there on a monthly basis.
Yep.
Just started a couple weeks ago
Yep.
as his co-host. So I'm looking forward to that show. And we just popped by right afterwards. Right, it was right down the street.
Yeah.
A little hard to find, but it's there.
It's all right. Anything worth having is worth seeking out.
Exactly.
So.
Like
Right.
his title.
Yes. Exactly.
Also, on the Raw reunion, the return of Daniel Bryan, but he lost the first match back to Bray Wyatt due to interference by Kane. So we now build up a no DQ match on SmackDown between Daniel Bryan and Kane. Why have Bryan lose his first match back on Raw after how many months of not being there?
Well, at least we saw a match within the first hour. Out of the 3 hours, we saw 7 matches.
That's about it. That's pretty much all you get
Well,
when you stop and think about it.
with the talking and
Right.
the
They
Royal
did-
Rumble things that they show every year, everybody know how
Right.
it works.
Right.
Everybody knows that if you don't know how it works, well, there's probably some people that honestly don't know how it works.
Well,
Some people maybe never. For the people that have never watched the WWE product, they have to keep repeating it. So, because this thing's coming up and you don't know what it is. That's
go on
probably why
YouTube.
they do that.
Well, go on YouTube, but they don't have to show it 50 times within the 3 hours. For all I care, the bunny can be facing I don't care who for that 15-minute package. I do not care.
You want to see more action.
Right. Well, it's called World Wrestling Entertainment, and they seem to be focusing more on anything but wrestling.
Seems, especially last night, I mean, more so than normal.
Yeah. Another fan did say to me that they really don't have any feuds going into the Rumble. There's really nothing to focus on as far as, who's fighting whom.
Right.
And they really have no direction.
They have, exactly. I mean, I've got the whole thing right here about the Royal Rumble. I can run down the card and there's not really.
Well, there.
All we got really is the WWE title, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins. That's the main thing they're focusing on.
Now, do you think that's going to end the show? No, this is another topic of discussion. Do you think that's going to be the main event, or are they going to actually do the Rumble as the main event? If I can make a prediction, I'll say they'll have the title be the main event, be the final.
I'd like to see them
match.
do it that way.
Just because of Lesnar main event, Royal Rumble right before.
Right.
But it's called the Royal Rumble. The whole pay-per-view is called the Royal Rumble. Not to have that not be the main focus
But
is just
That's
doesn't make
true
sense.
too. So it's a tough call to make. What do you do?
But they also have Extreme Rules. They also had Elimination. They also have Hell in a Cell, TLC, and Survivor Series.
Right.
What else do you want from them?
Well, no, if it's the title of the pay-per-view, TLC, every match should have tables, ladders, and chairs.
Or one of those things.
Or
Hell in a
at least
Cell,
Stairs.
you know,
Hell in a Cell
should be
every
like Lockdown, where
Yes.
everything is in the cell.
is in the cell.
Well, except
Pardon?
for the Divas, because Vince is one of those. But
Even the Divas could go in the cell.
at MITV, the Divas don't necessarily have to have a ladder match. They should do like a battle royal.
Why don't the Divas have a Money in the Bank?
That's what I'm saying. Just take
So,
a and
A woman could have that title opportunity where she could cash it in within a year on the Divas Championship.
Exactly. Instead of having it gold, turn it pink and just have a battle royal or something.
Mm-hmm. So I
go.
mean,
Make it happen.
and, you know, in past years, I know even in the olden days, back late '80s, early '90s, the first Royal Rumbles there were, that was always the last thing.
Correct.
Right.
It was the focus of the pay-per-view. That was what we got all hyped up for.
But it seems like they're more hyping up this year Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Seth Rollins, and they're not really focusing too much in on the match itself.
Right.
Probably just
Right.
because of Lesnar. Did
Eh.
you see this sign yesterday? Eat, sleep, disappear, repeat.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
Right.
Because he's
He's the absentee WWE champion.
Yeah.
might as well have Fake have the champion.
If I
He's a
missed
great
as much time from work as Brock Lesnar missed from work, I wouldn't be working anymore.
Don't you
Same
get
thing
enough pay
with-
from here?
Oh yeah, definitely me. Yeah.
Same thing with you.
Yeah.
Don't you get paid from here?
And understand something, when you finally get a job and earn a living, you have to show up for work. You can't do what Brock Lesnar does and show up once every so often
Yeah.
and expect to be able
And
to
not even really work.
Right.
Just show up.
Can
You know,
I be like Homer Simpson?
You know, how many times has he actually defended this title since he's got it?
right.
Twice.
Twice?
Or
Once?
Uno.
I don't understand it because the title is supposed to be defended at least once a month, or if not, you lose it.
They stripped Daniel Bryan of it.
They
We've gone over
strip-
this over and over. And
Well,
I don't care if it's the storyline or real life. That man could not maintain the title because of injury, and as soon as they knew that, they took it away from him in
Yeah.
a New York half second.
I really think that Vince never wanted Daniel Bryan to have the title to begin with.
They never wanted Daniel Bryan to have the title to begin
Right.
with. They were under public pressure, public scrutiny. Give this guy the belt. So that's why they gave him the belt.
Yeah. So when they
Well-
saw an opportunity to
get-
steal it from him,
Exactly.
they did.
Lesnar just does whatever he wants. Vince does not care. He thinks he will bring ratings, which he does, but not as much as someone like Sting or Taker. Just because he has the belt doesn't mean every week someone will just watch, just
Right.
to see him for that half a second. Nobody really cares anymore.
If you're going to be the champion, be around.
Yeah, just show
I-
up,
in his contract,
or at least do
only,
it via
only
satellite.
gives him X amount of appearances per year.
Right.
They do
But
it
then he shouldn't have
UFC
the
way.
belt.
Right.
They do it
Agreed.
with Lesnar contract. They do it UFC way. Appearances, UFC does it by fights.
Right.
And you bring up the UFC, and I really think that that's why Vince covets Brock Lesnar so much, is because he was the UFC champion. And Vince, whether they want to admit it or not, there is a rivalry between
The UFC and
the
the
UFC
WWE.
and the WWE.
Right.
They are fighting for the same demographic.
Right.
You know,
Wrestling itself goes head to head with Ultimate Fighting,
Yes.
mixed martial arts.
And really, realistically, if Dana White really wanted to stick it to Vince, he would put CM Punk's first match up against one of Vince's pay-per-views. Even though UFC usually runs on Saturday,
Right.
they could
Show a rerun.
just
They
as
could
easily
They could easily do
run
that.
it on Sunday, or they could put it on Fox.
Just put it on a rerun.
They got Fox Sports, right?
Put it on Fox
Put it on Fox for free.
on a Monday night,
On a night that Vince is running the
or on
pay-per-view.
a night Vince is running the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
March 29th, WrestleMania.
You wouldn't stack it up against WrestleMania, but
Yeah, no,
one of the lesser pay-per-views.
It would definitely beat one of the Extreme Rules.
Oh, without a doubt.
What do you think if, let's say, Dana White does put CM Punk's first match against WWE? What if he were put about against Fastlane? You guys know nothing about Fastlane so far.
Fastlane's
Do you think
the
they
new,
would win
the
or
new
lose?
pay-per-view coming up
Right.
Yes.
next month.
Yeah, it's that replace elimination chamber. Who do you think would win?
Ratings-wise,
Yes.
UFC.
UFC.
Right now, I'm not sure. Well, I'll tell you in the near future.
Punk being there is going to cause people to watch the
If
UFC.
it's on free TV, Fox Sports 1, UFC will win. If you got to pay for either or,
Right.
I think Vince will win just because of the fact that the network's only $9.99. It's cheaper.
As JBL says, do the math, $55 or $9.99. Do the math.
Right.
Do the math. And your buddies, the Ascension, also at the Royal Rumble,
We'll
take
face-
on the Miz. Take on the
The
New Age Outlaws.
Miz and Miz L versus the
This ha-
Usos.
So they could, the Outlaws will probably get beaten, go disappear again. WWE Tag Team titles: the Usos versus the Miz and Mizdow. I'm a little sick of this feud. I'm a little more than sick
Yeah.
of this feud. It's
Well, I mean, realistically,
there's better
how
things
many
going
tag,
on in the soaps right now.
How many tag teams are there? So you have the Usos and Mizdow.
That's probably the problem right there.
You don't have very many other options.
And I thought Triple H wanted to push tag teams too.
But I really think, we had this discussion as well. You don't have guys that want to work in a tag team environment, especially now.
Nah, it's not like it was.
With the atmosphere that we're in now. Kevin Nash just went through some legal battle.
Right.
If that was your partner, and you have no control over what your
Of
partner
course, his
does.
partner Scott Hall too. So
Yeah.
it's a bad example.
Right, but but that's the thing of it is you don't want to tag your wagon onto somebody else. You
Right.
have to depend on their actions. Not just inside the ring.
It's like a reflection.
Right, but outside the ring. So my tag team partner gets in trouble, and then it ruins my push,
Or that can
my
actually
opportunity.
make you better because that makes you a singles competitor and pushes you in farther.
But if you're in that tag team and you're on your way, or you have the belts, or you're up for the belts,
Right.
and then your partner.
Yeah, as far as tag teams, the two people have to have consideration for one another in their professional and personal lives,
Right.
as well. It's
Right.
something you got to consider before you make that commitment.
And being around just on the indie scene, some of the guys in the indies are really cutthroat and stab in the back and really out for themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to find two people that want to be together for that long and depend on one another for their careers. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, we were talking.
Yeah, and you heard Tito Santana at the Fan Fest. You would much rather be singles than tag team.
Yeah.
All right. Now we have a call here.
Yes.
Live on the Squared Circle.
Hello.
Hello.
How you guys doing today?
Hey, RJ. We are doing
It's
great.
RJ.
Yeah, how you guys doing tonight?
Not too bad. Yourself?
We're doing.
I'm doing good, The heel is getting there. I might be, up and about pretty soon.
Yep.
Getting there.
Good.
That's good. That's good. Glad to hear you're coming along.
Yeah.
You're definitely busy on our site. All those posts. We really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of rumors going around for this Sunday. I really enjoyed Monday Night Raw last night. The best that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. We were just debating that.
We were just. I think the best part was when Sting came out.
Yeah, I
That
liked
was
it
monumental.
Too, but the Ascension got that beat down and it was really good. I liked that.
So what do you think here? We got Roman Reigns, we got Daniel Bryan, we got Rusev, Wade Barrett, we got Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, among others. Who's your pick?
That's gonna be a little bit difficult because I'm between four guys that are possible to win it, but I'm thinking that my top pick will have to be to see a returning Randy Orton to come and win the Rumble, and then stick it to Triple H and win the title at WrestleMania. That's what I'm thinking that's gonna happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you are. I think you're alone in that prediction, but
Yeah, I
It's
don't
interesting.
exactly know when Randy Orton is due back.
Yeah, like, you know, well, there is a rumor going around he's supposed to come back, so I'm not sure, but we'll see. If it's not him, then it would have to, my next pick would have to be Roman Reigns to win.
you know, I think that's the general consensus that Roman Reigns is going to win. So I'm going to say that that's exactly why he won't win. Because Vince does what the opposite of what his fans want.
Yeah, I see, yeah, he's always been like that. And then my predictions on the title match, I'm not really sure, but there's two ways I see the title match going. I can either see John Cena winning the championship, and then we'll see where that goes, or if not, Seth Rollins will just cash in on Cena, or if not, Brock Lesnar will beat them both, and then somehow Paul Heyman will probably turn on Brock Lesnar, and then help Seth Rollins to be able to cash in on Lesnar, but we'll see what happens.
I kind of like it. I like that. If Heyman turns on Brock Lesnar.
I'm gonna change it a little bit. I'm saying Cena's gonna get the win, and then Paul's gonna help Rollins cash in.
The way they were talking up on SmackDown and everything, and then the way Paul Heyman left the ring and left Seth Rollins, like, just thinking, like, he said, that he'll be the future, and the way I saw it and the way I looked at it was, something tells me something's gonna go down at the Rumble.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. So no, we were just talking. Do you think that the title match is going to end the show, or the Royal Rumble should end the show?
For me, I think since it's the Royal Rumble and it's a big thing and it's also the road to WrestleMania, I would say I would like the Rumble to be last.
Yeah, that's what I think, because it's
It's
the
called
whole
the Royal Rumble for a reason.
right.
Yeah, and the Royal Rumble's always been one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year besides WrestleMania. So,
Yep.
there's always a surprise, and there's also rumors going around that we're gonna see probably surprise entries in the Rumble.
Yep.
Hopefully some of those come around.
Yeah, there were. I'll predict DDP makes an appearance in the Rumble.
I was thinking one of those, and then also supposedly there was a rumor going around that the Bully Ray was talking with TNA or whatever, and I guess the Dudley want to make an appearance in the Rumble, but we'll see what happens.
From our information, the 3D is going to be at NXT as trainers.
Right.
So
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
right. So so they're obviously they're in with the WWE at the moment.
Right.
So
We also have information that possible Big Bo Lever will return at the Royal Rumble.
yeah,
You just
Bo
have
Dallas.
to believe.
If you believe, you can do anything you want.
Definitely coming back. That I heard as well. I'm pretty happy about that too. But I also really did like the ending to Monday Night Raw and the way Cena won the match.
I did too. It was surprising. Maybe that's what that show really needed to top it off.
Well,
And
go ahead.
to get Ryback, Eric Rowan, and Dolph Ziggler to their jobs back and have them come back. I think that's good enough. That made everybody happy and the way they ended the show.
So maybe they'll help Cena beat Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be that too, or we never know. I'm thinking that I'm really hoping that we do, and I'm seeing it coming, where we're going to see Triple H versus Sting at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
We're leading up to that.
Barring any surprise appearance by the Undertaker, but
Yeah, they're still, spectating on that, if he's going to come or not.
yeah, someone in our audience is saying Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, if Undertaker comes back.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I don't know.
That's not.
It's so, there's really no clear direction that they're giving us, so, it's all speculation.
To set up if Undertaker does return to set that up for WrestleMania. That's what that was about.
Yep. But we'll see. RJ, we appreciate you calling. We wish you all the luck in your recovery.
Definitely. Thanks
And,
a lot.
we're looking forward to seeing you back at PWA. And as always, you're always welcome to come back on the show.
All right, no problem.
Keep us posted on your progress, and
Definitely.
we're looking forward to seeing you again.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for calling us.
Have a good night.
You're welcome. You too.
There we go. We got another call in just a second,
Oh, there we go.
It-
Hit it.
and then we'll talk about. We're not worried about WrestleMania 31. We're worried about WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
But we have the Thunderous One here. How are you tonight, sir?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you, gentlemen?
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Very well.
I am at home in the home office, and I just went on the computer,
Yep.
and I saw that Monkey Gate is not over.
That's
Is
correct.
there an update?
That's correct.
Monkey Gate. We're not talking about Monkey Gate, okay?
Well, I want to know the update.
What update? There is no update.
We all know.
I didn't do anything to any monkeys or pay anybody to do it.
We all
anything
saw
to-
the footage. We
Well,
know what happened.
Saru is inconspicuously missing from the PWA roster at the moment.
Really?
Ooh.
And so I had something to do with that.
Did you
I didn't
send
even
them
know
somewhere?
this.
Saru is MIA.
Saru was injured.
Did you send them
Now
somewhere?
the monkey is gone.
Well,
And there's no more monkey.
I don't know.
Suspicious to me, Mr. Zimmerman. What do you think?
It sounds suspicious to me.
I think the monkey probably realized that he needed to go back to wherever he came from, and he realized he's never going to be able to cut it as even a TV as the Square Circle Television Champion.
Wow. So you think he's hanging his head in shame and his tail between his legs, and
He took his bananas and he went home.
No, I don't know.
That's what I
He
think.
had some help there.
Tom, the investigation continues, and we will keep everyone abreast of the situation.
Absolutely. And your thoughts on Raw last night, gentlemen?
Not enough wrestling.
Yes.
Not enough wrestling, but I'm glad that Sting's back.
Ascension.
I'm glad the Ascension got what was coming to them.
It
Whether
seemed to me
it's the
like,
writer's fault or not.
It seemed to me like Ric Flair took quite a bump last night.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of. He's probably all right.
he's another guy that,
He knows how to do
maybe
it.
we'll have Flair Hogan.
Why not?
The loser leaves in a wheelchair match.
Right.
But my favorite part of the Raw was last night.
What's that?
John Cena watches The Bachelor. Did you see that sign in the crowd?
Yes, I
Did
did.
not see that.
That was my favorite part, favorite part last night.
Mm-hmm.
But I was glad to see that they all got their jobs back. So we'll see what Sunday brings.
Yep.
Should be quite interesting.
Definitely.
But do you think they're setting us up for Triple H and Sting?
Yes.
Oh, that's a definite.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a given right there.
I can't wait to see that. That should be an interesting match.
Yeah.
A blind man can
Well,
see that.
you know what? At least it's something different. Anyway. It's
Absolutely, because we don't want to keep seeing the same old stuff over and over again.
like Cena Lesnar.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Cena Rollins? Over and over, no matter what.
No.
Well, Cena Rollins, you don't really see too much.
We
of that
haven't
yet.
seen a real match yet.
TLC.
If you want to call that one a real match.
Right. that feud isn't that old.
No, I can stand to see that, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Sunday will definitely
Who's
turn the
who's
page on some of
prediction,
these feuds.
Who's your prediction, Thunderous? for the Rumble?
I don't really want to see John Cena again.
No, to win the Royal Rumble. You know what? I'll predict Saru for the Royal Rumble. That's why he's not around.
For the Royal Rumble, yeah, I would like to predict.
Let me tell you something. If Saru
Saru.
becomes the WWE champion at WrestleMania,
Saru.
I will never appear on public access again.
Wow, now I really want Saru to win. And I'm sure some of our detractors would love that.
I will resign. I
Wow.
will leave this show.
And you have to forfeit the North Haven title.
To Saru.
And forfeit the North Haven title.
Don't
Get
you?
that in writing down?
The
Wow.
North Haven,
We have it on
The
video.
North Haven title.
Don't
is-
you owe Saru a match for that title, sir?
I haven't read. For what?
I believe you owe him a match.
I
Can we
don't
find
owe-
that video
I don't
footage?
owe him anything.
Wow.
I think you owe him a job.
Thunderous, I think we need to get on this one.
I owe him. I owe him a
Absolutely,
huge
I think
tub of
we have it on
banana
video, like
milkshake
you
over
said.
his head.
You owe him a job because you paid off Lucas Sharp.
I didn't pay. How
We
do you
saw
know,
the footage.
How do you know what I was talking to Lucas Sharp about?
We saw
anyway?
the footage.
We
and-
saw and heard
We
the
saw
footage.
muffled footage of me with Lucas talking about business.
And we had subtitles.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
subtitles
pull over our
that
eyes.
somebody just put on there, and you know where that somebody is? He's no longer here.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Was he
Wow.
featured in Endeavor?
That's rough. Yeah, what'd you do to him?
What I didn't.
Oh, Saru's not around. Nick's not around.
It was
Kevin.
Nick.
Wow.
Nick
I'll tell
left.
ya.
Nick left
People,
on
you
his
know,
own accord.
people are disappearing. Monkeys are disappearing. People are
You know
disappearing.
what?
What am I
This
next?
is a conspiracy.
That's right.
Really?
McMahonigan.
Yes, Hollywood.
Oh, now you're ripping off PWI.
Absolutely.
I'll tell Bad News Bob you're ripping him off.
conspiracy, to quote Bad
Yeah,
News Bob.
yeah, and Bad News Bob's no longer around either. He's not on the air anymore.
Yeah, I think Hollywood has something to do with that too.
What?
Wow.
Bob's a close associate of mine.
And where has he been? He's no longer. Him and Cuomo
It's classified.
are gone.
And I'm not around either. Did you have something to do with that, Hollywood?
Right.
You had something to do with that.
I think that might have been the Utes again in their Lucha Libre.
And somebody else is.
You had something
We'll
to do
talk
with that,
about
buddy.
All right, Thunderous one.
Thunders,
But gentlemen, we will see you next Tuesday.
definitely.
And
And stay awake because I have to talk about WrestleMania 32 and then I'm going to talk about TNA.
Oh yes, I am fully enjoying TNA. I must say that. I never thought that would come out of my mouth. I do
You're
enjoy
actually
the
able to
product.
stay awake now.
Yes.
You get a little drowsy, but you still you stay awake.
Absolutely.
I'll
And
tell
we
you,
will see you next Tuesday
We
at
will
American Steam.
see you next Tuesday at American Steam.
Definitely. Definitely.
bet
That's a
your life.
programming
You
note,
bet
ladies
your
and
life,
gentlemen. Next Tuesday night will be a rerun here as we are taping American Steamed, our sponsor.
Do we have a graphic for American Steam?
We could put it up real quick, maybe.
Maybe.
Of course, you are preceded by the 21st anniversary show of Talking with Tom.
21 years of talking with Tom.
Definitely.
And you started that when you were.
Mother Nature stays away.
And you started that when you were what? 40?
I
Ain't it?
wish.
All right, Thunderous
Thunderous.
one. We will see you next Tuesday.
As
brother.
always, it's been your pleasure.
All right.
Can we get the graphic of American
Bye-bye, Tim.
Steams? Good night.
Well,
Yeah, if you guys can pull up that graphic of American Steamed in Wallingford, which leads us to our last segment later on, blowing off steam. If we have a few minutes.
There it
Here
is.
we are.
Woo!
There we go.
Yeah, our sponsor, American Steams. We'll be there next week, 92 Quinnipiac Street in Wallingford. Love when they send their love over to us.
That's right. That's
And,
right.
We'll be there, and I'm sure I'll be drowsy from overeating.
Better stay awake.
Amen.
So we don't even have the card for WrestleMania 31 yet, and they're already talking WrestleMania 32. It's been announced April 3rd, 2016. set that date on your calendar for next year at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas.
Yes.
It's the home field of the Dallas Cowboys. Fan access will be held at the K. Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center, named after the former senator from Texas, which is in Dallas. The Hall of Fame will be at the American Airlines Center, as well as the Post-Raw. Those are in Dallas. Attendees for the announcement, which I guess was seen on the network, were
Yep.
Vince McMahon, Stephanie Hogan, John Cena, Big Show, Mark Henry, the Bellas, Natalia, Alicia Fox, former Dallas Cowboys player Ed Too Tall Jones,
Yep.
AT&T Stadium and Cowboys executives, the mayor of Arlington, and other local officials.
The Cowboys will actually see a win in their stadium.
Right, the Cowboys will see a win in their
The
stadium
Cowboys
now.
were
Well-
my stepsister
Right.
used to be a cheerleader for the Dallas Cowboys, as well as the Miami
kidding.
Dolphins.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow, that's why the Dolphins suck.
Hey now.
Hey now.
But,
Wow.
yeah.
I did not know that.
Something you learn something
We
new
have
every day.
photographs of this? Photographic evidence?
Got photographic evidence.
Well,
I'll have to dig it out.
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So, something big going on in Texas
Yes, yeah.
next year. They do everything big in Texas.
Yep,
For winning Super Bowls.
yep.
They don't win Super Bowls, but
World Series,
The stars at night are big and bright.
right.
basketball
Deep in the heart of
championships.
Texas.
Deep in the heart
is
of
what you were
Texas.
supposed to say.
Yes,
Definitely.
Pee Wee Herman, we all.
Be glad to see him come to Texas. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, you know, it's a brand new stadium. It's what, only like 4 or 5 years old?
Right.
Relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great venue. And as Dylan stated, at least somebody will win at that stadium.
The Cowboys
Because
can't
Tony
do it.
Romo ain't doing it.
There's going to be winners and losers.
Well,
And maybe Rick
speaking
Perry will be
of-
president by then.
Speaking of winners and losers, let's talk about the stock for a minute.
Oh, that's my steamed,
That's his Steam
blown
segment.
up steamed.
We'll
get
talk-
that
we'll-
later.
We'll get that. We'll get to that
About
towards
10
the
minutes
end.
or so.
But let's go on to the improving.
Yes.
I wouldn't say rapidly. It's
Steadily.
steadily improving. It's better than it was. You can't fall asleep anymore. You might get a little drowsy. You won't doze off, I promise. TNA. They are now on Friday nights at 8 o'clock
Yes.
on Destination America. So you check with your local cable and satellite provider for that channel. If you don't-
113 and Comcast in East Haven? 113.
113 for Comcast subscribers. Don't know about Frontier or Dish or Direct. But the main angle they're focusing on heading into their new slot on Destination America is MVP's new faction known as the Beatdown Clan. And in a twist, a swerve that I couldn't see coming,
Yeah.
they turned on Bobby Lashley. They took possession of the TNA title
Yep.
from him, said if they won the title. They weren't even in the match, but they won the title. They took the belt from him and kicked him out of the group rather unceremoniously.
I think that may have something to do with Bobby Lashley working with Bellator again.
But technically, he's still the champion,
Yes.
so they didn't have the right to
What?
take that title.
Well, is MVP the champion or is Vacant making a return?
Vacant?
Yes.
Who's vacant?
One of the greatest superstars of all time.
Vacant.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe vacant.
Um,
You're right, possibly.
talking about Bobby Lashley live from Mohegan Sun Arena, Friday, February 27th. Bobby Lashley will face his toughest test to date in the Bellator cage when he meets the Colossus, James Thompson. So that's right here in Connecticut.
That's right here in Connecticut.
Mohegan
Bellator.
Sun Arena. I'm sure our friend Andrew Caladrelli will be there. He's a Bellator fighter.
Exactly.
And you can get those tickets if you wish as we speak.
Really?
There's a me plus 3 4-pack going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you buy the me and we'll be the plus 3.
Hey now,
There we go.
tax time cometh.
Speaking of fights, go back to UFC. Anderson Silva making a return. When is that again?
Oh, goodness, you want.
Last
Last Saturday of this month, yes.
last Saturday.
Anderson Silva
So,
about
yeah,
a year.
After his injury, yeah.
That
year or
could
two.
be
That
it.
nasty injury.
This could be
Snapped
the
his foot.
slowly the end of Lashley's title reign, possibly.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's time for MVP himself to maybe get the belt. Who knows? Low Key is in this group as well as Samoa Joe. I don't know if Eric Young is officially a member of it or unofficially a member of it. We also have Kenny King as well, the King of the Night. Low Key, once again, won back the X Division title from Austin Aries after Austin Aries won it the previous week.
Yep.
Hardys are now the #1 contenders to the tag titles, held by a group that bears striking resemblance to the Wyatt family. James Storm, Abyss, Manic,
and Sonata.
Sonata. They have the new Indian guy in there. The Revolution is what they're being called.
Yes, and Abyss and James Storm hold the titles.
Right.
Yes.
That's interesting. Eric Young, the now heel Eric Young, beat Bobby Roode in an ODQ match. Awesome Kong is back, looking better and better than ever, taking out the beautiful people, then confronting Havoc. Two big women right there, going to go at it.
Yep.
Whatever happened to Karma?
She got pregnant.
Yeah, obviously.
And-
You know what they say about Karma? Well, we can't say it on the air.
Hey,
Announced
now.
for next week, though, Feast or Fired match and EC3 versus Jeremy Borash. That'll put them in their seats.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Gotta keep this momentum going. I don't know about these little matches like EC3 and Jeremy Borash, but we got another call on the air. You're live.
Kill it.
Hello.
Did you hang up again?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, it's Bill.
Hey,
Excellent.
Bill.
Bill,
Hey, Bill.
what's going on?
Bill?
Our wonderful assistant here forgot your theme music today,
Right.
Mr. Jacob.
Hey, you never told me to get it.
Oh, you don't want to hear me sing.
Yeah.
What's the word, Bill?
Yeah. Hey, finally a good Raw show last night, huh?
Yeah.
Decent.
Could have been more wrestling, but yeah, it was good.
Right.
I knew you were going to weigh in on Sting, so go right to it.
Yeah, you think as much as I talk about him, I should be like dating him, but it's actually I thought one of the best segments I thought was the as I call them now the descension, the ascension there. And I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of set the tone for the end of the show. So it was pretty.
They got
pretty
everybody
interesting.
revved up, that's for sure.
Yeah, they did a couple of really good things during the show, and overall I thought it went over pretty well. And Triple H at the end yelling, and then Brock Lesnar coming out and just pummeling everybody. I was literally just falling off my chair. So a little disappointed that Daniel Bryan didn't win, but
He should
I
have.
guess you can't have everything.
Right.
Just giving credit to Brock Lesnar. This F5 with the Big Show was, you could just tell if you watch, he did not struggle at all compared to last year's Royal Rumble.
No, when I saw him pick up Big Show and he F5'd him, I was like, that might be one of the moments, if there's nothing tremendous going forward for the rest of the year, that might be one of the big moments for the year, like one of those oh my God moments. That's when the crowd should start chanting, holy bleep bleep,
Yeah,
Instead of
Kofi
just doing it
Kingston.
when somebody does a cute little move off the top rope or something like that.
Kofi Kingston, Royal Rumble coming up. What will he do?
I think it's going to be a good Royal Rumble. I'm just really interested to see what they do. Maybe finally these guys are listening. And I know Jay mentioned something about Vince McMahon not being happy about the, as I call them, the ascension.
These descension.
I read some of the same thing, Jay, that he's really not in love with the whole thing. And I think they really pooched that up because those guys were good down in NXT. They were good. They were the tag team champions, but I think they played around with that whole thing, trying to convert them to this kind of road warrior thing, because they were more like I'm not sure if you're familiar with like the Underworld or some of those like vampires versus the werewolf kind of movies.
Sorta.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
They were
Sorta.
playing off of that, and I thought that would have went better, but it is what it is.
If they're playing off trying to be, if they want to be a tribute to the Road Warriors and have like maybe Animal as a manager, somebody like that, that would be okay. But to go ahead and the writers, like John said, it's the people doing the writing that think of these things and don't realize how offensive that some of that stuff might be to people. Or maybe it's just a way of getting cheap heat. I don't know, but the way they're doing it is just wrong.
Now that I think about it, they didn't talk very little. Just when they had rivalry, really, they just said, "We will crush you," pretty much. They just gotta stop talking now. Just say, "Welcome to the wasteland."
Right. Exactly.
Well, I think the wasteland's going to be their career at this point. So, but hey, I wanted to ask you, did you guys see Big Time Wrestling is coming down to the Newburgh Armory down in Newburgh, New York? Are you guys thought about going to those matches at all? It's the same night as the AEW show, so I wasn't sure if you guys were thinking of going either one of those.
Didn't really get much thought into that. I mean, I got the Northeast Wrestling card.
Yeah.
Here, the next one over the top, February 7th in Bethany at 7 p.m. They got some good names coming on there, I believe. Del Rio and
We just got tickets for a Jersey show with John Morrison on the card. What's the Pro Wrestling Syndicate? We're going the end of the month, so we'll give you some details on that when we get there. Because
the Big Time Wrestling show was really good. They got Sabu, Rhino, Ricky Steamboat, Val Venus, a couple other guys. They got, I know what we talked about, I think it's Tessa Blanchard, Tully Blanchard's daughter's going to be there.
Yep.
But I'm not sure if I want to travel all the way to Newburgh, so I think I'm going to hit the Bethany show for NEW.
Right.
Yeah, so they're a little closer to home and a little bit better group. But
when we get some information on a show in Idaho, we'll let you know.
Right.
what's that?
When we get some information on a show in Idaho, we'll let you know.
Well, Nick's out in California. Can we get some
Looking for something
information?
in the Northern Dakota area. You can find that one.
No, I want to find out about the indie scene, the independent wrestling scene, in the great state of Hawaii.
There we go.
Maybe that's where Saru is, Jay.
That's possible.
Maybe he's the Hawaiian champion.
Well, they got a whole
flying
big
Hawaiian.
Caribbean banana boat champion.
Right.
There you go.
How about Guam Pro Wrestling?
Guam.
There you go.
All right. I think on the Guam Independent Wrestling, I think I'll be going. You guys got a stroke window. And I think I'll be able to. I'm going to try to see if I can stop my American Steam next week.
Oh, well, I hope to
Definitely.
see you there.
Love to see you there.
All right. And thanks for livening up the show with some youth on there with that young man next to you.
Thank
Fine
you.
young gentleman you have there.
Right.
Yep. He's going to hold his title belt one day.
Right. He might if he's good enough, he might hold one of these seats one day.
I think he's got to put Jay in the figure 4 leg locks first.
Not
There you
happening.
go.
Not happening,
There you
Bill.
go.
Sorry about that.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank
Take it
you.
easy, Bill. Always a pleasure.
And you know what Mario says? After the figure 4 leg lock, you know what your comeback is?
You walk back here.
You get to come back to the dressing room.
That's right.
That's Mario's joke.
So getting back to TNA, it is slightly improving.
Yes, it is.
Do you think?
I enjoy it now.
What do you think is better, TNA or NXT?
Don't know. I'll have to watch the two of them, you know, and I'll have to see which one's better. I have to actually watch the two of them and see. And
You know,
see,
I'll
because
say, I think TNA, when they focus on some of the younger talent, some of the newer talent, is a great show. They need to go away from the Hardys and when they had Bully Ray and MVP. You know,
Aces and eights.
and yeah, that whole aces and eights. Thank God that's over. When they focus on some of the younger guys, it's a great product. But when we've seen the Hardys before, we've seen MVP. You know, these guys are played out, and you know, and we're still seeing that happening.
they're
in
into
WWE.
yesteryear.
Right. You know, focus on the younger talent, which that's what gives NXT the edge. These
Right.
guys are are trying their damnedest to get to the main roster.
It's not only that. We have all these shows that are 2 hours plus. NXT is an hour.
Right.
Usually when someone wins the championship, they come out, celebrate a little bit, talk for like 10 minutes, then it's wrestling.
Yep.
It's not...
They don't have that kind of time at
They just
NXT.
have like commercials about Royal Rumble, which everybody knows.
Right.
They don't have 50 video packages to show. It's just NXT wrestling.
That's it.
Right.
So here we go. We got our
And that's Raw right there.
blowing off steam time.
Yeah.
Let's blow off some steam.
Let's do it.
All right. Since you're the guest, you get to go first.
Not enough wrestling. Raw. I finally agree with you. 2 hours Raw, or put NXT there for 3 hours. I do not care anymore.
Yeah, I'd agree with there. 3 hours has always has been, and always will be too much. But my blowing off steam is, the law. It's been a long time coming, but the low of 982 and the close of 1005.
Compared to where we were last year, when
Yeah.
I was given numbers of over $30
Yeah,
a share.
it was like at 32 change,
Something like that.
31.98 it topped out. Yeah.
$31.98. I
So,
remember that. I remember
Yep.
being all excited about that. I remember thinking about buying stock in it.
Well, I did, but
Times have
yeah,
changed.
for it to be hovering at $10, it's really sad.
Did it even go up yesterday at all? From it didn't even go up from the UK and Ireland getting the network.
Now, here's mine, and this is a blast from the past. From wrestling not too long ago. I happened to catch the last 3 episodes of the Monday Night War series on the network, and it went through the end of. Now I used to be a big fan of WCW, and I was a fan before Eric Bischoff was even the president, and just. That's my blowing off steam, is looking back at this and rehashing all that with those last 3 episodes. You see what Bischoff, Russo, Vince Russo, Kevin Sullivan, then they put Bischoff and Russo together, and it's a good end of the Monday Night Wars. But some of the things that WCW did, they had something called a Viagra on a pole match.
That's a joke in itself.
They had a Viagra on a pole match.
Viagra on a pole. I can't even say that.
Arn Anderson's theory was that Vince McMahon sent Vince Russo down there to sabotage that product even further. He might just be right, but if you get to see that Monday Night War series on the network, do it, because it was really good and riveting.
Yep.
And it shows you how bad it got towards the end. It was good. I mean, the Monday Night War was good, but WCW at the end, I can see it now.
Yeah.
That's probably why I remember towards the end of that war, I stopped flipping through.
Right.
Definitely. But we got to wrap it up now. I'm Hollywood J. Williams for Mr. John Zimmerman.
Jacob Zimmerman.
Good night and good luck. Remember, not next week. We'll have a rerun. Maybe we'll show the Joseph Von Schmidt interview.
Possible.
We'll be down at American Steamed, having some steamed cheeseburgers and talking wrestling there. And we'll be running that
sometime during the week.
Sometime during that week, we're going to talk to the powers that be here. Not Vince Russo, that's for sure, at NHTV. I'm Hollywood J. Williams once again, like I said, and good night and good luck. Come down to American Steam next week if you can. If not, we'll see you in 2 weeks.